It's time. Hello everyone, welcome back to Becca's Book Nook. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my reread / annotation of Clockwork Angel. I took about almost 2 weeks to read this book, maybe like a week and a half. This was my third read through, but since I have to wait a little bit longer for Chain of Thorns and it's not coming out this month like I had originally expected, I decided to give myself a little treat and dive right back into this wonderful world of the Infernal Devices. So I'm just going to take you guys along with me on my reread and my annotation. Obviously, if you have not read this book or this series, I would strongly recommend stopping watching here, going to read the book, and then coming back to discuss it with me later, since there definitely will be spoilers in this video. Without further ado, I am just going to jump right into the video. I hope you guys enjoy, and maybe this inspires a reread for yourself. Hello everyone, I just started my reread of Clockwork Angel. I'm only on like page 10, but I just wanted to pop in and say quickly that I love rereading this book and just seeing where I fell in love with Will for the first time. When I read this book when I was 13 or 14, I fell in love with Will so early on, as soon as he just started with his like smart ass comments, and just literally everything he said was making me laugh, and I just fell in love so fast. And I love just marking the parts early on in the book that like I know made me fall in love. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this so far, and I'm literally only 10 pages in. I know we always have a lot to say about the love at first sight trope and how it's maybe slightly unrealistic, but damn, am I a sucker for one. Tessa literally seeing Will for the first time and just absolutely falling in love, like from the second she laid eyes on him. Yeah, that's what I want. I love this part so much when Tessa just immediately corrects Will about whether hell is cold or not, and I love that he just stares at her and he's finally met his match, as I wrote. I also love that my annotations are normally just like stupid little things that I write and not very educated. That's just part of the fun of personalizing your books. Jessamine can politely screw off. Just finished my all-time favorite chapter of when Will is showing Tessa the library and they're like sort of learning a little bit about each other, but not too much, never too much, because Will can't show too much of himself to her. I'm getting sad reading like literally everything Will says to her, because I know he wants to just be nice and let her in, but he's afraid to. So I love that scene so much. It's like feels so intimate for both of them, and they're like sharing their love of reading, which is amazing to me. I loved it, and let's keep reading. Many of my blue marks, like blue tabbies for sad, are literally just words like this. Jem saying Will's mad at everyone, he's angry with everyone, but I know he isn't. Like, he has so much love for all of them, but he's just nervous to show it because he doesn't want anything bad to happen to them. It just makes me miserable, makes me so sad for him. Okay, hello. I've just finished about 100 pages of Clockwork Angel. I'm about a quarter of the way through, and I am obsessed, obviously. I already know that I have love for this book, but rereading it just like reiterates that fact in my heart like 1,000,000%. I've now officially met pretty much everyone in the Institute. We just got introduced to Jem. I am finding myself really loving Jem so far, and I do love Jem. Like, Will is obviously my favorite. I have always had love for Jem, but I feel like this time around I'm being able to like appreciate the fact that Jem is like what's right for Tessa in this point in time, and like he's a sweetheart, and like this is like a breakthrough moment for me. Like, am I starting to like nice guys? Obviously, I love Charlotte and Henry. I'm so happy. I am excited to get into this next few chapters, because I think we're going to be meeting Gabriel soon, and I know we hate Gabriel in this book, but I do love him, so I'm excited to get into these few chapters, which I will be doing tomorrow, and I am just really excited, so I will keep you guys updated. Hey guys, so reading chapter 6 of this book, I feel like I'm supposed to be having sympathy for Jessamine, but I really just can't find myself having any. I know I like her more later on, so maybe my opinion will change again. I know it will, but like as of right now, I'm reading the book and I'm just like, Tessa's not gonna, you've been rude to Tessa since she got here. She's not gonna move out with you into an apartment just because you don't want to be a shadow hunter, even though that's what you're supposed to be. I don't know. It's just like, I feel like I'm supposed to be feeling sympathy for her and I'm just not. Also, I love Charlotte and Henry so much, but there's this line here that says, Sophie's saying, Miss Branwell sometimes says she thinks he'd love her better if she ticked like a clock. And that just makes me sad because I know Henry loves Charlotte, but he just like maybe has a hard time showing her for the first little bit because he's like so focused on his inventions. And I just feel really bad for her. She's so young. She's like 23. Reading this as a almost 21-year-old is like, I'm closer in age to Charlotte than I am to like Tessa and Will and them, which is like blowing my mind a little bit. Part 1,000,000 of me feeling bad for Charlotte. Tessa says, it is a bit like they're your children, isn't it? And she said, yes, except for the part where they're required to love me, I suppose. I know that's mainly in regard to Will, because he literally like thinks he has to be rude to them, which also just, it makes me sad for both parties because I'm sure he wants to give her the love that she deserves, but he feels like he can't. And also Charlotte just feels like she's doing everything she can, and yet he still doesn't feel that way for her, which is so sad. And then I feel like it also is in part to do with Jessamine because she literally just is so rude to everyone there, even though they just give her love. That's literally all they do, and she hates them for no reason. So, love that. Chapter 8, Camille, starts with, Tessa was only halfway down the corridor when they caught up to her, Will and Jem walking on either side of her. I have always written in the margins because she's always right in between the two. Love that little parallel. Every time I read this book, I'm shocked about Sophie's past, literally every single time, even though I know it's coming. It just makes me so sad that her literal past employer like cut her face open. But come on, give me Gideon. Where is my Gideon? I know we're not getting any of that till like maybe late next book, but bring him in. She needs some love. Bloodthirsty little beast, never trust a duck. I still quote that to this day. Every single time I see a duck, I cannot wait till I get to go to England and I get to go to Hyde Park and see the ducks and just yell that at them. I literally used to have it in my phone where every time I typed ducks, it would autocorrect to bloodthirsty little beasts. I literally quote it daily to my mom. Also, when Tessa's fangs pop out because she's hungry for Will, I can't, the tension. Enter Gabriel Lightwood. But he's kind of a dick right now, but I still love him. Put Gabriel in a scene with Cecily and I'll love him, but yeah, right now he's really getting on my nerves. Setting her jaw, she went and sat down opposite the boys so that they formed a triangle between them. Thanks for that little foreshadow, Cassie. Okay, so I just finished about like halfway through the book now. I'm on page 222. I am obsessed. I already have a lot of tabbing. I will show you guys in a moment. I'm so excited for how this book is gonna look when I'm done it. I feel like it's gonna just make me so happy looking at it all the time. Most of the things I'm writing in here are just stupid. As I had mentioned before, I'll write like tension or like LOL, or when something makes me sad, I'll put like a little frowny face normally, or I'll explain why it makes me sad. But my like words are nothing like too analytical or like intense. I just have some fun. The color of the tabs is mainly just like how I know what it made me feel at the time, I guess. But I'm having a lot of fun so far. I will show you guys what it looks like as of right now, and I can't wait to finish the second half of this book. This is what my tabbing is looking like right now on chapter 10. There is a lot of purple, which means funny. I feel like I mark a lot of things with funny because it makes me like literally chuckle out loud, which is killing my roommates, but it's fine. And we've got the start of quite a few pink tabs, but there will definitely be more in the second half. Hello, it's been a couple days since I last checked in with you guys, but I have just finished the next 100 pages or so of the book. We got to see the big like raid at De Quincy's house, so we got to see sort of a lot of vampires, lots of like supernatural-ish creatures for the first time in this series. Found it really hot that Will was being her like human subjugate throughout the party. I really loved that, and her just as Camille was really interesting to see. I loved meeting Magnus, of course, my king. He's just amazing. I also love that we get to see Tessa noticing literally every single thing about Will. Like, she's obsessed. Like, this line literally says, Will leaned closer, his sleeve brushed Tessa's arm. And I made a note that says, damn, she really notices every little thing, because she does. She's like fully obsessed with him. She notices just fully everything, and I love that. I love that she's like so infatuated with him, but she's in for a world of hurt, that girl. I know she is. I also loved that we got to see Will and Jem sort of fight together for the first time at De Quincy's house. There's this whole paragraph that I have marked that it's just beautiful the way they fight together. The parabatai bond is just so strong, and I love seeing them fight together. It makes me just so happy to watch. I know that the second half of this book is going to be filled with even more yellow tabs for annoying and frustrating, because I already know because of Nate. I hate him with my whole heart. I know he's gonna have like literally a million tabs. But I was gonna say that I also have quite a few yellow tabs in this chapter from Gabriel, because Gabriel was just being so rude to William. And then Will just gives it right back to him, which I love. And Jem like rips him inside the carriage. Like, what are you doing? I loved that. I think that their banter is really funny. Obviously Gabriel pisses me off, but I do think that every bit of dialogue they have together is really funny. I love Will and Jem's chat in the carriage about how they both think that Tessa is gorgeous, and that Jem has noticed Will noticing her. I just feel like it's setting up the love triangle really nicely, because we didn't really get that much of it in this book. Obviously, we normally have just really seen her be with Will and be infatuated with Will, but in the next book I know she's like equally as infatuated with both, which I'm really excited to reread. Also, obviously, in this little chunk we got to see Will and Tessa's first kiss up in the attic. I do love this chapter because I think it is just, it really like encapsulates her feelings and her like needs for him, and how badly she like wants him in that moment. And the kiss itself is really amazing, really well written, but obviously it's heartbreaking when he has to push her away and sort of just make her feel like shit. That's not great, but I still really like the chapter. I love that she says that the kiss tasted like holy water and blood. It's very vivid in my head, the scene. Obviously, yes, it's heartbreaking, but I still love it overall. Also, I did want to say one more thing about this chunk and then I'll move along. Tessa says to Jem, "It hardly seems worth living a long time if you're going to look like that," in regards to the Silent Brothers. I made a note saying, "Oh honey, don't say that," because it's a little rough for Jem to hear. Jessamine's feelings for Nate just blow my mind. I know she just sees him as sort of a way out of the Institute, out of the shadow world. It's just stupid, the whole thing. I hate everything about it. I also hate this mood that Will's in right after the attic. I was genuinely getting pissed at Will, and you guys know how much I love him. He is being so rude to Charlotte. I know he like feels like he let Tessa in, so he has to be rude to everyone around them to make sure they don't get hurt. Once again, I understand Will's whole thing. It's just how rude he is to Charlotte. He says like he never asked her to love him, all this like, or that he wishes she didn't love him, and just all this crap. So rude to everyone, and it just literally breaks my heart because I know he's hurting saying it, but I also know that, he's hurting everyone around them, and that's not nice. So overall, this chunk was good, bad, it was steamy, it was sad, it was everything. All the emotions rolled into one. I am excited to read the last little bit. Hey guys, so I just finished Clockwork Angel. It looks absolutely stunning with all my annotations. I am just going to quickly talk about this last chunk of the book and anything significant that I felt like happened and that I want to address with you guys. Yeah, let's get into it. I've wanted to visit Blackfriars Bridge since I was 13, and I literally think about it all the time. There are so many places in London that I want to go when I'm there because of this book, and Blackfriars Bridge I feel like is one of the biggest for sure. The first fight at the Institute is hella stressful. I know that the only reason the machines are there is to get a Shadowhunter's blood, but Jem falling and Will just being like so worried about him and Tessa just was so scary and unnerving. Tessa's like desperation to get someone to come out and help them is just horrifying. I cannot imagine being in her position. Just so stressful. And the fact that there's like another one coming later for them, like I just feel like they've dealt with enough in one book than anyone needs to in their entire life. Jem telling Tessa about his illness and his addiction to the Yin-Fen was so sad. I got really emotional reading it. The fact that he already is so comfortable opening up to her is amazing, and it's wonderful. Like, if I was Tessa, I would just feel so warm and happy that he chose to confide in me already, but at the same time, I would just already be feeling so worried about the entire thing and about how now you know this secret and it's just like gonna drain on her knowing this bit of information about him. The start of the love triangle tension brewing when Tessa and Jem are sitting on his bed and she says his hand is close enough to touch, and Will walks in and he goes, well, isn't this just touching? And you can just sense his anger, feel his anger, but he really has no reason to be angry. And it's just, the tension is like, I can cut it with a knife. It's just gonna get worse but better for me because I love the tension, but it's a little heartbreaking at the same time. Makes me a little worried, a little sad, a little on edge, but I gotta love it. One of the parts in this book that made me just literally break down is Sophie being so in love with Jem, and she can't even go check on him because it's like not appropriate for her to do so, but she's in love with him. And she there's this line here, it says Sophie stared at her eyes mutely tragic, and I just wrote wow, because that line, it's just perfect. She's just heartbroken. She like desperately needs to know that he's okay. It literally broke my heart that she just felt like she couldn't, it wasn't appropriate for her to go in and check on him. And my heart like aches for Sophie. She's been through so much. As predicted, I have about a bajillion yellow tabs in the rest of this book because everything Nate says just pisses me off. He is a manipulative little shit. Everything he does is annoying and rude, and they don't deserve him even to be there and just to be saying anything. Everything he says is just rude. And when Jem and Will start giving it back to him during his storytelling, I'm like, yes. I'm pretty sure I have notes being like, yes, yeah, go Will, go Jem. Like, he just deserves it all. No words, no reactions, just this line. Will wore a strange look as their eyes locked, the look of someone who had just woken up and wonders if what they're looking at is real or a dream. Also this line, I'll speed this up, but this line, she's talking about how she thinks for a moment Sophie and Will look a little similar, but then she says, but that was just a ridiculous notion. There were no two people in the world more unalike than Sophie and Will. And I just wrote beside it, they both want someone they can't have. The whole ending of this book is severely intense with the whole fight at the Institute. Tessa was so smart doing that thing where she transformed to have the blood on her chest to make it look like she killed herself. I know I personally would not have thought to do that if I was in her shoes. Will holding her in that moment and showing her his true feelings obviously led to him feeling the need to totally tear her down at the end of the book and just break her heart into a million pieces. So we definitely end this book on a note where Will's the asshole, Jem is the right choice, and that's just enough said. Obviously, the epilogue is our first little glimpse at Will being desperate enough to go to Magnus and ask for help. We obviously don't know what the issue is, but we will find out in Clockwork Prince, and I love that it ended on this note. I feel like it was a really good setup for the rest of the series, and I think Cassie could not have ended it in a more perfect way. I had the most fun doing my reread of this book. It looks stunning. I am so happy with how it turned out. I'm even more excited to start Clockwork Prince, as it is my favorite book literally of all time, not just in the Shadowhunter series, of all time. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me reread and annotate this book. I know this video is going to be a little bit long, but I felt like I wanted to get all my thoughts out there. I hope this inspired a reread for some of you that have read it. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my thoughts and opinions, and I can't wait to film another one like this for you guys. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I post new bookish content every Wednesday that you don't want to miss. Thanks again for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.